All right, we are live, doing a bit of a abbreviated live stream tonight. Danny's not feeling well, so I'm flying solo, but I will try to get to as many last minute start sits that you guys have. And again, if you guys have our rankings, you can check those out. Our weekly rankings are available either via Patreon or Underdog sign up, as always. Andrew's the first one in here. 12-team Dynasty full PPR trade away Drake London for DK Metcalf and a 2024 second. I'd say London and DK are probably relatively in the same tier. If you're in like a full status rebuild, give me the younger guy with Drake London. But if you're in any kind of, honestly, competitive wise, he's been the better fantasy option this year. I think I would probably slightly lean Drake London there, Andrew, because I think his value is just going to skyrocket after this season. 21-year-old wide receiver is probably going to win like offensive rookie of the year. Gordo's in here. A person in my league is trying to trade CMC to me for Cordero Patterson and DK Metcalf. Should I accept? CMC is a dangerous risk because he could get hurt a lot and has a hard schedule. CMC's actually hasn't practiced either of the last 2 days. He's dealing with a quad injury, which is kind of nerve-wracking. I would say for those of you guys that have an empty bench spot, make sure Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Foreman aren't available on your waivers because they might be decent stash right now. I would probably hold off on that until we find out what CMC is dealing with. But I think if he's healthy, then I'm cool making that trade. Good evening, lads. Hope you had a wonderful day. Appreciate that, Omar. He also I could choose. Oh, okay. He said I could choose CMC or Leonard Fournette. I would rather have Leonard Fournette than CMC right now, just given the injury uncertainty with Christian McCaffrey. But if things clear up and CMC is fine, then I'll go with CMC. Pick one, Devontae Smith, Olave, Metcalf for my flex 12-team PPR. That's pretty close. I think I have a lot of those guys relatively in the same tier. The Jags have been pretty good against fantasy wide receivers, so I'm probably not going to go with Devontae Smith out of those options. I lean Chris Olave there because Michael Thomas didn't practice today or yesterday. He's been dealing with some stuff, so I'd probably go with Chris Olave of those options. And we got a wild Ladster, a sick Ladster here.
Dude, I've been in and out of fucking sleep today. Fucking it's so random, dude. I just wake up the other day and I'm fucking sick. That's great.
Yeah, I actually wasn't feeling good yesterday, to be honest. I randomly, I felt better this morning, but I had a random like flu-ness yesterday as well.
Dude, well, like, because a couple of days I took a couple of COVID tests and I'm negative. I'm like, okay, like, so it's just the flu, but it felt like how I did when I had COVID. In a sauna.
Yeah, same. What I felt yesterday was like very COVID feeling like, because I had COVID in July, so I like remember vividly what it was like.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Jared, same question as always. Mr. Unlimited versus Goff. Give me Goff, bro. Like, I ain't starting Russell Wilson anytime soon.
I gotta check that because I actually do think I have Goff higher. Which, by the way, I gotta change the name of my rankings in the doc to not Sheet 7. I have. Okay, I'm gonna actually put Goff ahead of Russ because I did have Goff higher, but I think I would start Goff. Or sorry, I would have Russ higher. But
the over under in that game is pretty high. Sharps are hammering the over in that Lions game. Hopefully, the answer probably changes if St. Brown's out. I would probably not start Goff if St. Brown isn't playing, but I don't want to start Russell Wilson right now until I see drastic improvements from that offense. Burner's burner, half PPR, Bateman or Olave. Note, I have Lamar if it makes a difference. Also, how does I would probably have gone with I'd probably go with Olave either way, to be honest.
Yeah. Though I really want to know the status of Jameis because I know he's been banged up. So
yeah, I think he should play. He just hasn't practiced the last 2 days. Does your answer change? What if Jameis is in but Thomas is out?
Then Olave's going up the rankings.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's going up. Okay, so what if Jameis is out but Thomas is playing?
Oh, then I would go Bateman.
Yeah, it's all going to really depend on the status of the other New Orleans pieces there. But I don't mind, if you're down after Thursday Night Football and you need like a big ceiling type of performance, stacking up Bateman and Lamar makes some sense for sure. Because that game, Buffalo and Baltimore could definitely shoot out for sure.
By the way, Russ has quickly become one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. And I kind of
think he's overrated. I think everybody understands that he's bad right now.
Because I said it like that was like my main concern of him in the offseason. It's like, dude, like we are valuing him like he's still the same player that he was in 2020, but like he hasn't played like that recently. So that was my concern with him. And nothing from this season has told me that he's, taken that step. Also, he's the corniest fucker in the entire NFL. Like, did you see his Subway commercial? Like that was the cringiest shit I've ever seen.
No, I didn't see it.
He's like mocking. He's like, you want to try the Mr. Unlimited sandwich or whatever it is? It's like the
Yeah, that's the
cringiest shit of
worst.
all time. And
Dude,
like
he
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 sounded
also
like a
makes his own
serial
nicknames
killer.
up anyway.
Appreciate the super chat, by the way, from Alex. He says, so should I do running back 1, Jonathan Taylor, running back 2, Jamal Williams, and flex Khalil Herbert? Should I make my flex Marquise Brown with Devontae Adams and Mike Evans? I don't want to sit Khalil Herbert, but if you have those receivers, like, sorry, Herbert's on my bench.
Yeah, it all really depends too on. To be honest, though, I would rather start Herbert than Jamal Williams.
I wouldn't.
Man, they deployed more of a committee style approach when Swift was out last year. I think Craig Reynolds and whoever else is going to be more involved than Herbert will. I think Herbert will have that backfield 100% to himself. I think the workload is in favor of Herbert for sure.
And that's fair, but at the same time, in reverse, though, the over-under Seattle versus Detroit versus the over-under in New York versus Chicago. I trust the Detroit offense a lot more than I trust Chicago's. And I mean, credit to New York. I mean, aside from Dallas, because Dallas got some big play in terms of runs, but for the most part, they've been doing well against running backs, aside from obviously a couple big runs from Pollard and Zeke. So I also just think the Cowboys' offensive line since week 1 has performed fucking amazing. So
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I have, I mean, I need to still win games in the process, but I do think once Prescott comes back, if you guys have a Dak Prescott manager that's like 0-3 right now, go send offers for Dak Prescott
yes,
because
this could be
the
so
stars
good.
are kind of aligning. The line's playing better. The defense is been playing good the whole season. Schultz and Gallup are coming back, in the coming days, coming weeks. Probably both of them should be back this week, I'd imagine. And Lamb, looked like he can
Looked
handle
great.
being the number 1 last week. Obviously, the drop was pretty bad, but the rest of the game was good.
Dude, and again, like I know
I
I'm
make CeeDee Lamb
biased.
mid jokes a lot, but CeeDee Lamb is a good player. I just like making mid jokes when he drops passes.
I would too. Don't worry. No, like from what I've seen these past couple weeks, like I'm just like very, very intrigued by what we could expect from Dallas when Stack is back. Because I know aside from Skip Bayless making it like, oh, is it a quarterback competition? It's like, no, it's not. Because I mean, Dak Prescott would have hung 40 on the Giants on Monday Night Football for the record. But either way, like once Stack is
Beating bad
back,
teams, that's a Dak Prescott classic.
no, but once Dak is back, with the way the defense is playing, with the way the offensive line looks, like I'm excited. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he's still got to obviously put the Eagles, the Bucks up there, the Rams, obviously when they're healthy. But I mean, the way the team has looked, we just need Dak to be himself. And if the defense is going to be like a top 5 unit in the NFL, like what's stopping them from really reclaiming their status like they were projected to be going into the year?
Yeah, and moving off of Cowboys corner,
Yeah.
or can I go back up?
We are all set for now.
Okay. Dylan, 2 wide receivers and 1 flex in my league. Went 0 RB and got Chase, Adams, Higgins, and St. Brown. That is a hell of a fucking wide receiver core. Do I play Higgins tonight at flex or wait? Okay, so for starters, if you have a player playing Thursday Night Football, put him in your wide receiver slot. And I would say this is why you do it, because there's a very good chance that St. Brown could miss this game. He was asked straight up if he's going to play, and he said, I don't know yet. And he hasn't practiced today or yesterday. So there's a very decent chance that he doesn't play. So I would definitely say put Higgins in as your wide receiver. And then if you have to swap St. Brown out, you at least have the option of playing other position groups in your flex.
They're close enough to the point where I'm fine with just putting Higgins in. Putting them, I'd put both Bengals receivers.
Oh, I guess you
at 1
can't
and
even
2.
start Amon-Ra anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game, I think the Bengals are going to hang some numbers on the Dolphins defense this week.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be it's just Tua officially active, by the way.
He is. Yeah.
Oh, good for him. By the way, I got the the Miami Dolphins at +3.5 when there was uncertainty whether he would play. What's the line? The line maybe not here.
That's the line right now, 3.5.
I love that line for Miami.
Yeah, it's basically a pick 'em like neutral, right? So the over under is 48.5, and the sharps are betting the under, but like barely, like 53% of the money is on the under. So like this is going to be a high scoring game. You definitely want pieces of this. Higgins and Chase, and Chase has Xavier Howard in coverage too, so Higgins definitely could have a big game.
By the way, I happy Tyreek week, because I mean after last week, he had his disappointing week. He's ready to show the world why he may just be the best receiver in the NFL.
I think this is happy Joe Mixon week, to be honest.
It very could be the case. How many people are saying, well, Joe Mixon 2.8 yards per carry, man, he's just bad. It's like,
I mean, to be fair, that was us last year, so
100%. No, but like it's giving us value now, so we'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. I actually have some bets tonight, real quick, that I want to shout out. So I have just an absolute long shot like parlay that I have here. If Joe Mixon scores the first touchdown and then the Miami defense scores a touchdown, and Burrow's definitely been, guilty of throwing the pick sixes, and Xavier Howard definitely has that in his system to take him back to the house. That's a $20 bet, pays out $1,100.
Yeah,
So hopefully that
dude,
one hits. And I have a more realistic one too, which is T. Higgins alt receiving yards 60 plus, and Jalen Waddle anytime touchdown is plus 689 odds on that. So pretty solid for sure.
Are you on Bet365?
I use FanDuel Sportsbook.
Oh, I was gonna say because there's currently a line right now, so it's typically minus 360, but it got boosted bare with Tyreek Hill to have 50 plus receiving yards at plus 100.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I might just put 50 on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid bet.
Look it. We ball, I believe.
If St. Brown is out, flex Dobbins, Elijah Moore, Bobby Trees, or ETN. I'm going Elijah Moore there for sure. Obviously if ARSB is playing, he's in. Yeah, I think Amon-Ra, if he plays, man, he's going to be phenomenal this week. Kobe Bryant with the C that plays for the Seahawks. He's allowing 3.0 yards per route covered in coverage and like an 89% catch rate. He literally basically turning every slot receiver he plays against into like Cooper Kupp from last year.
Yeah, no, that's a very good sign. Who did you say it was?
Amon-Ra that plays against him this week.
Seahawks, right?
Yeah, if Amon-Ra plays this week, he's going to go absolutely bonkers, assuming he's healthy.
Dude,
but I would go Elijah Moore there, Jared, if he's out.
And let's be honest, Amon-Ra St. Brown is basically Cooper Kupp anyways right now.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like we got another super if you want to go down to that.
Yep. One last thing I'll say, by the way, we updated obviously our rest of season rankings, and I mean Cooper Kupp's my 101. Like
he is mine. He's mine as well. Yeah. I 101. No, I have Taylor still as the 101, but I have Cooper Kupp as the 102 as my wide receiver one.
I have Kupp at 1. I have still McCaffrey at 101 in terms of running backs or running back 1. I mean, why?
I can't do it with McCaffrey. The offense in Carolina is gross.
Indy hasn't looked much better.
They haven't, but I think they're going to figure it out a lot more. Like the response I saw from Indianapolis this past week, they just beat Kansas City. Like I think they're gonna be just fine.
$10 super chat. Appreciate that from Justin. One quarterback with flex dynasty. Should I trade T for Swift or Javonte or any other running back at that level? I have 5 first rounders: quarterback Lamar, wide receiver CD, Higgins, Amon-Ra, Drake London, Traylon Burks, and Sky Moore, and Jameson Williams. I don't mind making that move for Swift or Javonte. I think actually the market value would dictate that Swift or Javonte is ahead of T right now.
Yeah, agreed. Plus, if you're in any kind of winning window, I would definitely be fine making that trade. I personally have Javonte as my RB2 in Dynasty, so he'd be the one I would prefer out of the two. Plus, if you're competing right now, Swift is banged up. So I would go for Javonte if you have a choice between those two guys.
I dig that. Yeah, I appreciate the super chat, by the way, there, Justin.
Of course. Moving up to Andrew here. Pick 2, Tyler Boyd, Damian Pierce, Allen Robinson, or Tyler Lockett. So Tyler Lockett is going to be one of my like fix your flex must starts on the TikTok that I do. If you guys aren't following our TikTok, definitely check it out because Metcalf is going to get the Jeff Okudah treatment, and I think Lockett could have a monster game against Amani Oruwariye, whose PFF grade right now is like 24. So like he's awful this year so far. I think Lockett's going to be definitely one of my options there. And then the other one I would go with is probably Damian Pierce. I think he's got the better outlook of him and Allen Robinson and Tyler Boyd. Boyd could definitely have a good game in this one. It's a high over-under or whatever, but I'm probably not going to play the third receiver for the Bengals over, a starting running back like Damian Pierce.
Yep, I agree with that.
Gordo, which 3 wide receivers to start this week? Michael Thomas, Deontay Johnson, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith, or Rashad Bateman. So I would go with the first 3 as long as Michael Thomas is playing. But if Michael Thomas is out, I'm probably going to go Bateman if Thomas is out for sure there. So I'm definitely going with that. Drop a like, boys. Yeah, listen to Andrew. If you guys are in here and you're enjoying, or if you're not enjoying, hit the like button either way, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Andrew says Deontay or Jeff Wilson full PPR. That's Deontay for me, and it's not really that close. In full PPR, I know Deontay Johnson hasn't been like the greatest fantasy asset so far, but his floor is so high in full PPR because this guy like at minimum catches 6 to 8 passes a game, even if they're just like shitty little out routes from Mitch Trubisky, 6-yard pickups for first downs. Like Deontay gets 6 to 8 of those a game, like guaranteed. His floor is extremely high.
By the way, so Bush, I got one slip right now, so $20 bet to win 460. Joe Mixon 2 or more touchdowns, and Tyreek Hill to score the first Miami Dolphins touchdown.
Okay, interesting. I could definitely see a big Mixon game tonight. I actually traded. I tried to trade for Joe Mixon today, but I wasn't able to do it. I was talking to you about in
Dude,
the DMs.
I've been trying to get Mixon, man. Like, he's gonna go up in value so easily. And I mean, there's a league right now. To be fair, it is the Tone Setters League, so everybody just completely values running backs, and it's so annoying because I'm benching every week one of like Drake London, Jerry Jeudy, fucking Marquise Brown. Because my receiver core right now is like CeeDee Lamb, T Higgins, Drake London, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, fucking like it's disgusting, right?
Yeah, that's really good.
So I have to like right now on my bench, I have Jerry Jeudy and Jahan Dotson, and I have to bench one of Mike Evans, Marquise Brown, CeeDee Lamb, or T Higgins.
Yeah,
So
that's wild.
it's annoying. Yeah, it's frustrating.
What do you guys think of a 1-for-1 where I give AJ Dillon and receive Breece Hall in a half PP or in a full PPR?
What's your record?
That's a good question. Yeah, I would say depending on your record, I think that's a good move. If you're 3-0 and you can handle potentially downgrading your value a little bit, I'm cool going with Breece Hall. But the one thing is too, we have Aaron Jones in that backfield. He's an older running back. It's possible he wears down as the season goes along. I personally would probably just hold Dillon. I think I prefer him slightly to Breece Hall rest of the season, but that's pretty close, man. Like honestly, that could definitely go either way.
Yep, I would agree with that as well.
What's up, bud? What's going on?
B-Mac.
Steven, Higgins or Khalil Herbert to start this week? Give me T Higgins. I think Khalil Herbert's a great start though, as well, just because of the workload.
Oh yeah.
Jamal Williams or Olave at the flex. I'm gonna go Jamal Williams there. Figs.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Jamal Williams.
I think is it a foregone conclusion Swift's out this week? He hasn't been ruled out, but he's pretty much gonna be out, right?
He's out. Dan Campbell basically said he expects him to miss the next couple weeks.
The only reason I say that is because the Saints play at 9:30, and you might need to know before. Like if you're on the West Coast, then you might need to know that before you go to bed or something, because it'll be 6:30 a.m. when they kick off. But I think you should know by Saturday if Swift is going to play or not.
And even if he's active, like realistically, like we've seen it before when DeAndre Swift is hurt and he's active and he ends up seeding like 65-70% of the work anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Worst case scenario, you start Jamal Williams and he gets like 5 goal line opportunities.
Like a top 10 running back the last 2 weeks on half a workload.
Yeah,
so
no, exactly.
Traded Henry and Bateman for Javonte and Pittman.
My
God!
I'd
rather have like each piece individually over the. I don't even know how you convince this guy to do this. I guess he's like a Derrick Henry stan, maybe. I don't know.
But oh man, dude, in my one league. Would you go Mostert? You would go Mostert over Pollard?
Mostert over Pollard?
I'm debating that in my home league right now.
I would go Pollard over Mostert.
They're close for me, man.
Well, we saw the split shift more in favor of Chase Edmonds last week. It was kind of odd. Like they've been kind of going back and forth.
Mostert actually still had a higher snap share. It's just Edmonds got the goal line opportunities for some reason, which makes no sense because
we've never seen that out of Chase Edmonds in his career.
Yeah, like because it's funny because like from a fantasy point perspective, like you look at the days and you see, oh well, Chase Edmonds had 2 touchdowns and Chase Edmonds looks like the main back, but like realistically, like Mostert handled more work. So it
looks like Dalvin's gonna be okay too. He
really,
today. Yeah.
Damn.
I heard it, harness, which I don't.
I was just gonna say. How's he gonna catch
I have Madison, so that makes like, dude. It actually bothers me so much that I have the guy that I faded all offseason on my team because I'm like completely scared shitless of what everything I was talking about all offseason would happen, which is why you never draft for value. Honestly, like just don't ever do it. When you don't like a player, just pass on them.
By the way, for everyone listening right now, 85 concurrent viewers. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you leave a like down below. Also want to quickly say, more of you going to be listening as well on Sunday morning. Happy Treylon Burks week.
Dude. Treylon Burks week, 100%. Make sure you guys go trade for him before he's literally, this is Garrett Wilson in week 1. Like the buying window we're in right now, except with Garrett Wilson, actually, we didn't have the routes to lean on. It was less predictable with that. I think we're talking about a guy that should be set up for like a 10+ target game. And the second that happens, he's going to be right in the rest of season rankings how we think of Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson now.
I'm actually excited because I just traded for Treylon Burks in one of my home leagues. So let me see if I can find it here. So the trade ended up being okay. I traded away KJ Osborne and Jahan Dotson in a relatively deep PPR league. I ended up getting Treylon Burks and Alexander Madison, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah,
it's not bad. I gotta like quickly look at my lineups real quick if you want to answer Yadiel's question. Make sure they're all set.
Just offered MT Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs for AJ Brown. Should I take it? You just got offered. I'm assuming this is a redraft league. How's your depth situation? Because I mean, AJ Brown's clearly the best asset here, but if you need like, startable pieces, I think Brees Hall's got upside for the rest of the season. Josh Jacobs could be an RB2-3 type. So if you need
Yeah,
depth
that's
in the
quite a bit.
redraft, I don't mind
That's
it.
quite a bit to give up. You'd have to be
Yeah.
really, really deep to make a move like that.
Yeah. I think he just got offered it.
Right.
Because he said, should I take it? So if you need depth, I don't mind going with the MT Brees side there.
Yeah, that's not bad for sure.
Let me know when your lineups are set because I will set mine as well.
This Yadiel's another question. Got offered Jeff Wilson and CeeDee Lamb for Drake London and Damian Pierce in a half PPR 10 team.
Lamb.
Yeah, I'll take Lamb and Wilson there. I think I would
Um,
slightly rather have Wilson than Pierce, and I would rather have Lamb
Yeah.
than London as well.
Lamb is still a top 10 receiver for me rest of the season. I saw what I needed to see on Monday Night Football.
I mean, I'm not going to go as far as saying top 10, but he's definitely still at least like a top 20 wide receiver 2 type of area. And then the second Prescott's back on the field, which is probably going to be week 5, week 6 type of area, then we're talking about a guy that definitely has the top 10 upside or top 5 upside potentially that we saw and we expected from him coming into the season.
And that's kind of why I have him as my number 10 right now. I think I have him one spot behind Jalen Waddle. Is that I think he can be a top 15 level receiver given the volume even without Dak. And then when Dak's back, I mean, top 5 maybe a little rich because I mean you still got like Diggs, Chase, like Adams, in the top 2. But I think he could be like the wide receiver 6. Maybe.
Oh man, I play you in the Tone Setters Dynasty League this week.
I am tanking so hard.
My team is so good, man, and I just got the rich got richer because I got Jamal Williams on my bench too.
W. We got a super chat here. I'll quickly get to, and then you can get to some of the comments while I'm setting my lineup. Play Higgins in case St. Brown does not play. Yeah, I'm more than fine playing Higgins. We actually got a question exactly like that, so I would start T Higgins there in case that happens. Appreciate the super chat from Glock Guy 56. Got another super chat here from Mike. Trade Debo for Dylan and Pittman. PPR 10 team. I'm 0-3. I have Burrow, Najee, Wilson, Debo, St. Brown, Pitts, Bateman, Olave, Akers, Etienne, Pollard, Ayuk, Madison. Give me the Pittman and Dylan side. I think I would rather have Pittman straight up over Debo. So getting a free
I would
Dylan.
easily rather have Pittman than Debo rest of the season, to be honest. Like, dude, we've seen Debo's efficiency crash down to earth. Like, he is not remotely the same player that he was
that
last
offense
year.
Just
maybe it'll regress positively a little bit, but like we're talking about a guy that needed like historical level efficiency to be as good as he was last year. So if he's even going to be league average level, he's going to be significantly worse as a fantasy asset because he was not getting 10 plus targets per game like we want our stud number ones to get.
Yep. No, I agree with that. I'll go accept that deal there, Mike. Nigel, y'all see my milestone chat in Donema? I didn't see. I guess it doesn't show up on StreamYard. Let us know in the chat because I didn't see it pop up on our end. Then my apologies there, Nigel. But again, appreciate that. Regardless, you've been a loyal subscriber to ours for quite a while right now. I believe. I mean, he's been around for nearly a year and a half at this point.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think like 2 years ago, I looked up what currency RSD was because I think he's our only Serbian follower that I can remember. So
appreciate the support, Nigel. Regardless, it means a lot, man.
So lads,
we actually got one more.
Oh, okay,
go more. $1.09 flex Edmonds, MT, Burks, Dubes, Julio. I'm going with Michael Thomas, and then if Michael Thomas does not play, Burks. Yeah, Burks and Dubes is relatively close, but yeah, I would go with Burks. I just think that's going to be an ugly game between the Packers and the Patriots. Low implied over under in that game. Mac Jones not expected to play. I think both teams are going to try to slow down the pace there. And I mean, with Treylon Burks, he's getting the routes, so I'm more than fine putting him in your lineup.
Plus, Watson is practicing today too, and we don't know if maybe Dubes or Dubs or whatever his fucking name is, Dobbs. I actually have no idea how to pronounce his last name. If he's going to be back on the field with Christian Watson, we don't know how Christian Watson's going to fit into the rotation, and we Dobbs needed Watson to be out last week to get a full-time workload. So definitely interesting there. So the game's about to kick off here. I'll try and speed through a couple questions here. Before the game starts. I have Saquon RB1, then Javonte and Jamal Williams on my lineup. My wide receiver 1 is Jamar Chase, and I have Pittman, Michael Thomas. I wish I had a problem like this. Jesus. I would say that put Saquon and Javonte in as your top 2 running backs. Your wide receiver 1, Chase. Pittman would be my wide receiver 2 there. And then your flex decision, I'm guessing, is between Michael Thomas, Hollywood, and Jamal Williams, which I would go Hollywood Brown. There. And if you can flex multiple, I would go Jamal Williams and Hollywood Brown because Michael Thomas could be out. And even if he plays, he might be kind of limited to some degree. So I'd probably go with those guys.
Nigel actually left a couple supers. Appreciate that. He also, I'm assuming this was a super chat question as well, so I'll get to it. You just answered that, so we're good. Sorry, I'm a little out of it right now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Javonte, Allen, DJ Moore, Singletary. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of that move. Javonte is the best asset in the deal, assuming this is a one quarterback league, and I mean giving up Allen, DJ Moore. Yeah, I don't like this move.
Is this redraft or dynasty?
I'm assuming this was redraft
I
because
mean, if it's dynasty, then Herbert immediately. I guess it's a one quarterback, but still, he's still quite valuable in dynasty. I'd say, I probably like the Javonte side a little bit there, especially knowing Herbert's dealing with injuries, a little bit less valuable right now.
Agreed. Yep. You have where we left off.
The game has actually started, so we'll probably sign off here. Just make sure we're watching the game and stuff. If you guys have any other questions, then feel free to fire them away in the comment sections of videos and all that kind of stuff. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, patreon.com/fantasy stock exchange /fantasy stock exchange will get you a guaranteed answer to any of your questions as well. But yeah, with that being said, make sure you guys enjoy the game. 48-point over under should be a more fun Thursday night football game than we've seen in recent weeks. But yeah, take care and enjoy.